Hey everyone and welcome back. Now in today's video we'll be discussing a very important topic called as AWS Global Infrastructure. Now our understanding about this topic will help us specifically during the time when we are planning to design a highly available fault tolerant systems in organizations. So let's go ahead and understand this topic in more detail. Now in the previous videos we have already discussed the basics of data center. Now a single data center can typically have thousands of servers within them. So even if you look into this diagram, there are so many servers that you can see over here. So let's assume that one server belongs to one client. Now the question that comes is, what happens if the data center goes down? So let's assume that this is a data center and due to some reason this data center goes down. That means that all the 1,000 clients who have their websites or web applications hosted in the data center, that websites and applications would be inaccessible during that period of time. And this is a big no-no because a lot of websites are completely dependent on the online presence. So one example, let's say Amazon.com. Amazon is completely dependent on online presence because people will be ordering things through their websites, and there are so many other websites who are completely dependent on the online presence as well. So the server going down is one of the last thing that is acceptable. Now this has happened a lot of time. Let me give you one of the real world scenario. So in Mumbai there were a very heavy rainfall in the year 2005. So not only a lot of people were affected during that rainfall, but also a lot of data centers were affected. So because of the very heavy rainfall, there were certain data centers which had to shut down the operations because of the rising water level. And this led to many of the websites going down for that period of time. So this is the reason why whenever we are designing a website, we need to make sure that we design in such a way that even if the data center goes down, our website is up and running. So this can be achieved with the help of availability zones in AWS. Now in AWS, the data centers are organized into availability zones. So these are also referred as the AZ. Now each availability zone are located at a lower risk location. Now this is very important because let's say that you have a data center in a ground floor. So in Mumbai, if you would have a data center in the ground floor and there is a very heavy rainfall and you do not really have a very effective system to drain out the water, then what will happen is that the water level will come inside the data center. So you have to create your data center in a location which have lower risk, not only from rainfall but from other natural calamities as well. So this pointer of creating an availability zone in a lower risk location is one of the responsibility which AWS takes care. Now there are multiple availability zones and each of them is separated by a geographic location. So if you look into this diagram is of one availability zone. Now within this availability zone, you will see that there are 4 data centers which are created. Now all of these 4 data centers are interconnected with each other with a high speed network. So let's understand availability zone in more detail. So the first pointer here is that each availability zone is designed for an independent failure zone and they are physically separated. So if you look into this diagram, this is basically an India map and there are 3 points over here. So we will take this example for a representation purpose. So let's say that each point represents a single availability zone. So you have this green availability zone, you have this blue availability zone, and you have this red availability zone. So these availability zones are physically separated from each other, and all of these availability zones are connected with a high speed private link. So there is a very high speed private link which interconnects all the availability zones. And as we were discussing, each availability zone are located at a lower risk location. So now what happens is that whenever you are creating an infrastructure, so let's say that you have created your own website and that website requires 2 servers. So what you will do, you will place one server in this green availability zone and you will place a second server in this red availability zone. So in case of a disaster, even if this entire availability zone goes down, you still have your second server in this red availability zone. So your website will continue to function even if there is a availability zone failure, which is very rare. So I hope you understood the basics about the availability zone. Now there is second important pointer that we need to understand, and that is about the AWS regions. Now each AWS region contains two or more availability zones. So this can be better understood with a diagram over here. So here you see the first block is of region, and each region here has three availability zones. So if you look into this diagram has in total of three availability zone. One is green, second is blue, and third is red. And each availability zone in turn has multiple data centers. Alright, so that's what availability zones are. And as we are discussing, each region has multiple availability zones. Now if you'll see here, every availability zone is connected with each other. So everything is connected via a high-speed network. So let's say that you have one server in the availability zone 1 and the second server in the availability zone 2. So you will be able to communicate via the internal network at a very fast speed. So as of now, AWS has 22 regions worldwide, and this region keeps on getting updated at a regular interval. So let me quickly show you more about this from the AWS console. So this is one of the AWS console, and if you look over here, the list that you see here is nothing but the list of regions which AWS has. So this is the North Virginia region. Then you have a region in Hong Kong. Then you have a region in Mumbai, which is India. Then you have Singapore, you have Tokyo, you have Canada, you have Europe, you have Middle East, and so on. So that is what regions are. Now, as we were discussing, each region has a multiple availability zones. So if you will see that this region of North Virginia in US, this region has in total of 6 availability zone. So these are the 6 availability zone, and AWS is also showing you the status of those availability zones. Now, as we were discussing, whenever you are designing a highly available website, you need to make sure that even if the availability zone goes down, your website should still be functioning perfectly well. And this is the reason why you will put one of the server in one availability zone, second server in a different availability zone. So here it basically gives you the status associated with each of the availability zone in a specific region. Now do remember that every region has a different number of availability zones. So currently we took an example of North Virginia region, which has one of the highest number of availability zones within the AWS. Now if you look into Mumbai, let's open up Mumbai region. Now within here, you will see that Mumbai region has 3 availability zones. Now if you look into the AWS global infrastructure map, this is a map which basically shows you the information about in which locations the AWS regions are present, and the orange ones that you see are the upcoming regions. So as of now, AWS operates a total of 22 regions with in total of 69 availability zones all over the world. Now, as we were discussing, this number keeps on changing at a regular interval. Now, for the exams, you do not really need to know how many regions and availability zones are present in the world, but you need to be very familiar with the concept of data center, about the concept of availability zone, and about the concept of regions. So that's the overview about the AWS global infrastructure. I hope this video has been informative for you, and I look forward to see you in the next video.